Friends, I will tell you some secrets with respect to cervical and the lumbar roots. In the cervical spine, there are 8 cervical roots, while there are only 7 cervical vertebrae. So, from where does this 8 cervical root comes from? So, the key here is that the cervical roots are designated by the vertebra that's below them. For example, the C1 root will come above the C1 arch. C2 root will come between C1 and C2, that is above C2. So, in that order, if we come to C5, C6, the C6 root comes between C5 and C6, that is above the C6 vertebra. The C7 root will come between C6 and C7, that is above the C7. Now, the C8 root here will come between C7 and T1. So, a C7 T1 disc prolapse will cause symptoms pertaining to the C8 nerve root. Now, after that, the T1 nerve root will come between T1 and T2. So, this process will continue down until we reach the lumbar vertebra. The anatomical peculiarity here is that in the cervical and the thoracic vertebra, the intervertebral roots, the neural roots, have more or less horizontal anatomy during the course. But when we come to the lumbar level, there is no cord and the dura encases mainly the roots. So, in the lumbar level, the dura encases the roots, and at each level of the lumbar vertebra, there are going to be 2 roots. One is known as an exiting root and the second is known as a traversing root. So, in the lumbar level, the roots are designated by the vertebra above them, in contrast to the cervical vertebra. So, L1 root will come between the L1 and L2 vertebra. L2 root will come between L2 and L3 vertebra. The L3 root comes between the L3 and L4 vertebra. The L4 root will come between L4 and L5 vertebra. The L5 root will come between L5 and S1 vertebra. So, the designation of the root is by the vertebra above. This means that in the lumbar vertebra, there is a root which exits out through the intervertebral foramen, which is at that level. This is known as the exiting root. So, at L4-5 level, L4 is the exiting root, while L5 is the traversing root. This again means that at L5-S1 level, L5 is the exiting root, while S1 is the traversing root. This anatomical peculiarity is very important to know what happens to each root during a disc prolapse, or which root will get involved or symptomatic in a particular type of disc prolapse. That means that in a paracentral disc prolapse or a posterolateral disc prolapse, it is the traversing root that will show symptoms, while the exiting root will show symptoms in a foraminal disc prolapse or an extraforaminal disc prolapse. This point is very important to understand the pathogenesis of symptoms in a lumbar disc prolapse.